What's up, y'all? We are back with yet another video. Alright, so last week I talked to y'all about Demon King that one, Demon King D. And I told y'all that it basically reminds me of an anime that dropped this year, the Misfit Demon King Academy. And so now I'm here to talk about it. And I actually want to thank somebody because they put it in a comment a couple of videos back where they told me that I should talk about the Misfit Demon King Academy. And I wasn't going to, but upon watching it, I definitely got to talk about this one because this one is what every shonen anime has ever wanted to be. So let's get into it. So the Misfit Demon King Academy is a very simple anime. It's just about the Demon King who reincarnates himself a century later, and he decides to go to the academy to become the next Demon King, even though he was already once the Demon King. And so because he's already the Demon King and he's aspiring to be the Demon King, he's the most powerful person in this entire school, and well, ever, because he was the Demon King. So this show is essentially Sword Art Online, but with a Demon King, and the character doesn't suck. The character is actually amazing. What makes this show so spectacular compared to any other show where the main character is overpowered is that the main character knows that he's overpowered. Like, there is no plot device where the main character just so happens to find the ability at the right time. There's no, miraculous moment where the main character gets saved by some untapped potential that he didn't know that he had. No. He knows he has this potential. He knows he's the most powerful person, and he exploits it to the highest degree. The Misfit Demon King Academy follows our main character, Anos Voldigard. Voldigard? I think it's Voldigard. Anos Voldigard, who is the previous Demon King, and he reincarnates himself a full century so that he can become the Demon King once again. And when he goes to this school, he decides to flaunt his Demon King abilities every single time that he possibly can. I mean, in the first episode, he kills a man 7 times and brings him back to life, only to make him fold and yield to what he wants him to do, which is perfect. I mean, that's what you want in the most powerful character of all time in the entire series. On top of the fact that they got the overpowered main character trope correct in the sense that he doesn't have to try to be overpowered, he just is. I mean, he's simply the most powerful person on the face of the planet because he was the old Demon King. On top of that, they have really good character design, and the fact that he's the most overpowered main character of all time doesn't change how he acts or who he is. I mean, he's the Demon King, but he just wants to unite his demon brethren to become like a better whole instead of them fighting each other. So he literally spends all of his time using his powers to unite people against him as a common enemy, even though he's the one bringing them all together as the Demon King should. And then on top of that, the side characters all feel great because they're demons, so they're not supposed to be good people, yet when they're being bad, they just feel really good, if that makes sense. So with him being an overpowered main character, the animation in the show doesn't really have a need for the animation to get crazy in the fight scenes because he wins every single fight, and he does it very handily. I mean, he doesn't really have to try very hard to win these fights, so the animation isn't crazy. But it is spectacular. The animation is done very well. The colors seem to fit really well inside of the show, and the animation seems fluid and smooth in all senses. This was animated by Silverlink Studio. If you don't know who Silverlink Studio is, they've created some of the best shows ever, such as Baka and Test, both seasons. The Chivalry of a Failed Knight, which I made a video on before, so go check that out. Tanaka-kun is Always Listless, and just a plethora more shows that you might or might not know, but you should definitely get to know Silverlink because they got a good team behind them over there at Silverlink. So check out any of those shows and the Misfit Demon King Academy because they're all animated spectacularly and they have a certain feel that no other animation company can quite copy. The last thing that I'll say about the Misfit Demon King Academy is honestly just that it feels really complete. It feels like a collective whole of a series. It doesn't feel like there's a loose plot hole that could just be pointed out. It doesn't feel like there's something that you're missing. It doesn't feel like any of the characters are straying away from what they should be. Like, it just feels really good as a whole anime, and it makes you really, it's a really fun one to watch. It's a lot of fun to watch, and it keeps you involved and it keeps you invested the entire way through. And honestly, I didn't know it would be so hard to talk about how much I like an anime and all the good things in it, but it was really hard to just talk about how good the show is and how much I actually like it for what it is. So I would give Misfit Demon King Academy high key 7 out of 10. I know that seems kind of low because you're like, yo, why just a 7 out of 10? It's 7 out of 10 because it does feel kind of tropey and just stereotypical, and it feels like it's just meant to hit a certain demographic and they just put it out to put it out. But I think if it is a trope anime and it is a blueprint anime, it's the best one in that trope or blueprint area, and it rules over that entire subcategory of anime. So you know what? I talked myself into it. I'm gonna go ahead and bump it up to an 8 out of 10. This show is an 8 out of 10, y'all. Take it or leave it. That's what it is. Go check out the Misfit Demon King Academy. It's one of the best shows that came out this year. And, like I said with the God of High School, just because it's one of the best shows that came out this year doesn't really mean a whole lot, considering that this year was just kind of a bad year for anime. It was just a bad year for everything, really. But maybe in a couple years we'll revisit the Demon King Academy and we'll see how good this show actually is. And if it gets a second, third, fourth, fifth season, I mean, then it's got to be good, right? Because it proved itself in the financial stands to be a good anime. So go check out the Misfit Demon King Academy. That's it for me, y'all. I'm Kevin. I'm out. Peace.
I must confess, yeah, I'm doing well. What goes around comes around like a carousel. And the haters keep on watching and paying attention. You sending shots, well, I'm sorry, I can't even tell. I envision going out to eat with dim lights. Get in my suit tailored, make sure that it fit right. Bank account looking like I sell cocaine. To think a couple years ago I was a no-name. In the city with a 10 where I wanna stay. Downtown Cincinnati each and every day. Top flow Chardonnay on a Saturday. I take this shit year to year, boy, you day to day. Yeah, old friends ask where I been. They always want to feature and they ask if I'm in. I tell them whatever I tell them and I keep it moving. Years ago they never called, I find it amusing. Yeah.